Hello and welcome to Mind of the Forest, a podcast of the Louisiana Forestry Association. I'm your host, Jeff Zeringue, media specialist for the LFA. In Mind of the Forest, we talk about forestry, the importance of managed forests and how they are important to the environment, and the benefits they offer for wildlife and water protection. Those benefits are why the LFA promotes keeping Louisiana's almost 15 million acres of forests as forests. The forest products industry includes forest landowners, loggers, and wood manufacturers such as lumber, paper, and pellet mills. It plays an important role in the conservation and management of forests for the important renewable natural resource it is. This episode of Mind of the Forest is sponsored by First South Farm Credit. First South is your premier rural lender. With over 100 years financing timber and agriculture, they have the expertise you're looking for when financing rural property. If you're looking to purchase or refinance land, call your local First South Farm Credit office, or you can find them online at firstsouthland.com. This is episode 70 of Mind of the Forest, and our guests are John and Vanessa Keith of Allstate Land Timber of Haughton, Louisiana. They are the 2025 Outstanding Louisiana Logger. We're sitting in Haughton, Louisiana with John and Vanessa Keith. John is the 2025 Outstanding Louisiana Logger for the Louisiana Logging Council and Louisiana Forestry Association. I know I've been here before and I've bugged you with the story from last year, but I'm really glad to have you today. Thanks so much for being here.
Well, thank you, Jeff. It's an honor for us to be recognized with this honor, knowing that it's really all about the Lord and the people He's put in our life to put us in the position that we're in.
Let's talk a little bit about how you got started in logging, John.
Well, it started first because I got laid off from the railroad.
Really?
Back in about 1981. Mm-hmm. And I went to work in the woods for a local logger here named Len Beatty. I worked for him running a chainsaw and just through the years had a machine that burned up, a choker skidder that me and another friend of mine, Larry, we bought the skidder from Lynn after it burnt, and we rebuilt it, and we went into business for ourselves.
Wow. Okay.
So we started off really with a chainsaw and a choker skidder, logging.
For folks who might not know the equipment that loggers use, what is a choker skidder?
It's a cable skidder. It's if you want to haul a skidder tree to the set, mm-hmm. You're going to get off the skidder, put a cable around the log, and each tree that you pull up to the set, where a grapple skidder operator stays on the machine mm-hmm. And picks up each tree on the machine with a hydraulic grapple instead of a manual cable.
Okay. That sounds a little more challenging, or
a little more labor intense than sitting on a skidder that's air conditioned nowadays with the AM FM radio.
And certainly chainsaws a lot more labor intensive than the cutters they have today.
Exactly. It was if you wanted a tree on the ground, you cut it with a chainsaw.
Wow.
And topped it out and everything.
Mm-hmm. So you had to put a lot more work into it. You have seen a great deal of advancement in technology as your trade has developed over the years. What would you say is the most, I guess, the greatest change just in technology that you've experienced over the last 40 years?
Well, probably one of the things that amazed me the most was the saw head cutting machines.
Really?
It's like just cut a tree instantly.
Yeah. And
they came out with the pinching with the shear heads that would pinch the trees, but a saw head it's really amazing how quick a saw head can cut a tree, and the productivity that way it increased with that, plus the combination of grapple skidders. Mm-hmm. Bigger, they're making them bigger and bigger now that you drag more and more wood with each drag. Need less people than you used to need, operators and equipment.
So you've been able to become more efficient.
More efficient, that's correct.
Okay. So your partner in crime, who is giving me the eye a little bit, Vanessa, I know you're a bit shy. You don't really like microphones, but I do appreciate you.
Thank you.
Coming in. Tell me a little bit about how you met this guy.
I met him at school my senior year. No, I guess it was my junior year, his senior year. Mm-hmm. And, well, he says it was a YMCA dance, yeah. And, well, I guess it was YMCA dance first. And that's the way he remembers it anyway. I needed a ride from the YMCA dance. I had liked him for a while, and we were dancing, and he was with his friend. His best friend I was dancing with him, and he had asked me out, and so he asked me out, and I told him yes. And then I was dancing with John, and then he asked me out.
So you had the pick of the litter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you tell me yes, and then we go, and then me and my friend are talking later on that night.
Yeah.
And he says he's taking you out.
Yeah.
I said, no, I'm taking her out. She told me yes. And but then I called you on the phone with him listening, and you said, well, I really wanted to go out with you.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the story. Just
that's the story, and you're sticking to it.
Yeah.
that's the truth.
Okay, so y'all developed a relationship, y'all got married, y'all stayed together, and early on, you were really involved in the logging business.
Yeah,
did you not?
used to work there. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I did all the books there, did all those. We even had, I even brought the playpen up there with the kids whenever they were little. Did
Talk
all
about
that.
a family business.
Yeah, yeah. Did all the books, all the taxes, all the payroll.
Wow.
Did all that. And the kids would even get off at the off the school bus there.
At the office.
Yeah, at the office.
Wow.
And then it got to where it was just, too much.
What she helped me with the most, Jeff, was she would take the calls from the finance companies that want to know when we was going to make our next payment. She got to be my in between for that, and that helped me a bunch.
Yeah.
Wow. Y'all have had some challenging years, as all loggers have experienced, and all businesses really experience from time to time. So how'd you make it through those times?
Well, I can answer that one. It's just because of the Lord, because I can still sit here and try to think on some of the situations we were in and wonder how we made it through it. And there's no human logical explanation I can give except Jesus.
Yeah.
It was through his will that we made it to where we're at today. And, nothing I can take credit for that, because I'm just barely even graduated out of high school. So I'm not no super financial guy.
But you are determined.
Yeah.
And you work hard, apparently.
Yeah.
You've made it to this point, and you're Logger of the Year. You don't get to be Logger of the Year just because it's a willy-nilly decision. You've worked hard. You've made your business respected by many people in the industry.
Yeah. Well, that was kind of the point I was making about my education, is that's just more proof of how God can use the unqualified to qualify people to do things. And that's just been, he just has been so real in my life, my whole life, through our business, through our family, through every aspect of my life. The Lord has blessed us, and I owe everything to him.
You're blessed by some of the few marriages that have a godly man that leads them.
I really am.
What does that mean to you?
It means everything. It really does. I've seen so many marriages break up. There are times whenever I get frustrated because, he pours so much time into, his work and his quiet time, in the Bible. And, people will say, things about all the time that he does with that, because he does spend a lot of time with church and his meetings and his Bible study. in the mornings. And it does take a lot of time away from family and from me, but I really wouldn't have it any other way. I really wouldn't. I mean, as frustrating sometimes as it can be, I look at the marriages that have crumbled because they didn't have God in their marriage. I really have.
So even with the challenges of time, you find it more fruitful than without.
Right.
Okay.
And I'll say about her faithfulness and to our marriage and being able to give me a lot of more freedom, I guess, because I did work in my earlier days many hours, weekends, late nights, every night. She had to do a lot with the kids because I'd be working. She definitely was a helpmate that God gave me, no doubt. And I've had to learn through the years how to try to balance my time between my service to the Lord, my time with my family, my job and responsibility that I have at work, and I do feel a burden a lot of times with just trying to keep the struggles going of our business, because I know we got 45 plus people working for us, and they've got families to feed, and so that's on my mind too. We got to try to keep things rolling, and it's just been so tough with our industry right now.
Yeah.
To try to make ends meet. So anyway, it's in the Lord's hands, what it is.
John is also the president of the Louisiana Logging Council, have been for a few years now, and that has been a responsibility that has given you challenges, hasn't it?
It has. It has. It's a responsibility that I don't want to ever take lightly, but I am encouraged by some of the things we do, like our Log and Load for Kids program that we try to do. It's just an opportunity to give back and to help the children that need help, and it's just it's a wonderful program. So I'm encouraged to try to do what I can in the position I'm in to try to help that as much as I can. So
that has been a program that's near and dear to your heart. Matter of fact, last year you started a skeet shoot in order to help raise money for Children's Miracle Network.
Yeah, we had year before last. We had our first one, and this year was our second one, and we probably doubled our income of charity what we could give to the Children's Hospital this year than we did from last year, and we hope to continue that growth through the years. It's a wonderful cause.
The Log and Load for Kids has been a program that loggers have done in several states and for several years. So I think the program itself for the industry has been sort of something that is very, very special to them. And moving forward from here with the Logging Council, what do you hope to accomplish?
I'd like to shed some light in this position. We've been going to Washington, D.C. every year through the American Loggers Council. Being on the Louisiana Logging Council, we're members with the American Loggers Council. And just the things we're trying to get accomplished to help loggers in Louisiana and across our country. There's the shortage of markets. That's probably the number one thing right now, is we know that the wood market in Louisiana and all across the South is struggling right now. We need somewhere to sell our timber to, and we are working to try to open up some other markets, maybe for biomass, and trying to work with the congressman and the EPA there in Washington to redefine biomass to where we can be used more easily for products, biofuels and generate electricity. They're just different things, because we got so much wood and product, low-grade materials that are being left in the woods now that we could be bringing out and making use out of for these projects.
I think in general, sometimes folks look at loggers as where they just cutting trees, but y'all are an important link in the health of forests, because without harvesting some, then the forest would not be as healthy. It would put much of the forest at risk of insects and disease, or certainly the fuel for fires, right? You play an important role because in using the natural resource, renewable natural resource, mills couldn't make the products that people want without y'all bringing the wood to the mills. That has to be an important part of what y'all do.
Oh, yes, it is. Being able to make use of our natural resources, and then the way that we harvest our timber we're showing respect also for the land that we get it from, with our BMPs and our best management practices, master loggers that we have in the state. We're taking better care of our forests now. I'm really very proud of the progress we've made here in our state, and we have some really good loggers that do really good work. And you can tell when you look at different tracks now, you can see how years ago it was different, but now there is better care being taken of tracks of timber when we cut them, and how we close them out, and water bars the roads, and there's just it's more of a professional, which we are professional loggers.
Logging seems to have evolved from just a job that folks do to cut trees and bring them to the mill to a profession where, like you said earlier, it is done differently now. It's done with a great deal more care and a great deal more purpose.
Yes. We work with the mills really to because the clientele they have does want to know the chain of command of how the timber was planted, grown, who's managing it, if it's being done properly, and that there's no environmental impacts being taken. So we have, for instance, with the international paper, we're gonna cut a tract of timber and we're gonna haul the wood to them. We turn in to them our coordinates, location of the tract, and they're going to check for any endangered species and different environmental issues that might be there, and before they'll accept the wood from that particular tract.
So before you even start cutting, all those things have to be considered.
Yes.
Okay.
Do that. We have to also, with our local governments, the police juries, we have to get permits for the roads. We have to do our 811 calls to alert any pipelines or water lines, electric lines, all the companies to make sure that everything's going to be done safely.
It's not just running out in the woods and cutting down a tree.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Okay. And that is an interesting point you make, that the mills nowadays take more care because the product that they sell to people is valued more, in that they want to make sure that things are being done well, and that the renewable part of that natural resource is being done.
That's correct.
Vanessa, you get to travel with him when he goes to places like Washington, D.C., and of course, every summer we have our convention that y'all were honored last year. So tell us a little bit about how that has been for you and that part of his responsibilities.
It's been great because the perks of it is I get to tag along, and it's kind of like vacation time, for me. So, and I'm kind of his support system, I'm there to support him. The times whenever he does speak, he gets up there to speak, he gets kind of nervous sometimes, and
Like every time.
And while he's up there, every time, I always pray for him while he's up there, so that helps him, and beforehand, a lot of times we'll pray beforehand in our room, that he will kind of put him at ease, but while he's up there, while he's praying, like sometimes they'll ask him to pray. I'll be praying while he's praying, or while he's speaking, I'll say a prayer while he's speaking to, Lord, just put your arms around him, and kind of put him at ease,
That's quite a support system.
Yeah. Yeah. So
in your trip to Washington, D.C., what has been the most surprising or interesting thing that you've encountered?
In Washington,
Yes.
whenever we go, like with Mike Johnson, seeing him, and like this last time, this time Mike Johnson, I got to see him and get our picture taken with him. That was the first time I've ever got to see him, and we got to see the White House, get a tour of that. Cleo
Fields.
What was his name? Cleo Fields.
Were you surprised that you actually got to talk to the congressman rather than to a staffer?
Yes. He was the only one in all the meetings that we actually got to see. In all the meetings we saw, the aides, and we actually got to see him. And he also gave us a little coin, didn't he? No, yeah, a coin, and then a picture taken with him. So, and he was really nice, really, really nice. So,
Well, he has a lot of forestry in his district.
yes, he does.
Yeah.
Yes, he does. So,
John, there was a picture of you, I think it was last year, when the ALC did their fly-in in Washington, D.C., that you got to pray with the Speaker of the House of the United States Congress.
What an honor that was, Jeff. Yes, that was actually 2 years. I did the first year that they had the gavel. The Logging Association had a gavel made and presented it to him, and I was able to pray over him then. And then the next year, again, when we were able to see him again the next year and was able to pray over him again. It's just an honor to be able to do that for someone that's such an official as he is in our country, and knowing how he's faced with all the problems and that he has to wake up to every day. And he's a good Christian man. He's under attack every day, but I was just honored to be able to do that. It was. So.
And also, John, every time that he goes up there, he tries to make every opportunity to present a Gideon Bible to all the representatives.
Awesome.
And even other people while he's there. So I'm so proud of him for that. I'm just so proud of him for that. And he always challenges us to try to, give a Gideon Bible to somebody while we're there also. So I'm very proud of him for that.
Did you ever think when you started Allstate Timber that you would be praying with the Speaker of the House?
No. I had never had no idea that that the opportunities just come through through the Louisiana Forestry Association, working in the Louisiana Logging Council, and then being able to work with the American Loggers Council to go to Washington and do these and to try to represent our loggers here in Louisiana at the national level. That's an honor to get to do that, and I'm now going to be on the executive committee of the American Loggers Council, so I would like to stay more involved in that on the national level too. So it's just another example of how God can use even the least to try to do the most. Anyway, I'm still trying to get it done, but He can take someone, and He can through our weaknesses, His strength can be revealed. So that's the way I look at it.
So what do you see for the future? For the Keiths, for Allstate Land Timber? What do you hope for?
I hope for the day whenever I can continue to work until I can't work anymore, but I do look forward to the day when my son, and I have some nephews that are in the business, when they're starting to take more and more control of things, whenever they can pretty much take all of it. And still let me not kick me all the way to the curb, still let me do a little bit of something, because I do love this business. Just I always want to try to do things to help it be better. And as far as our family goes, me and her are doing a little traveling now, just even with like the Logging Council trips we take, we've made some wonderful friends through the American Logging Council, and good Christian friends, good people. That right there has been another joy that we've been able to experience.
Sounds like he's talking about the R word in retirement. Vanessa, what do you see for retirement for you guys in the future?
For retirement?
I'm not saying it's happening right now.
For retirement, I see hopefully that we'll be able to travel with family. We love to travel with our family, though. We really do. We love to travel just by ourselves too, though. We love to do about half and half.
We have every year for the last 25 years.
Yes.
We've got a little place in Hot Springs that we got a week at every year.
Yeah.
And we take the family up there and we'll get on the lake and pull a tube around and we'll go canoe down the Caddo River and just kick up and have a good time. And so we look forward to that. We do that every June.
Yeah, we're fixing to do it in a couple of weeks.
Oh, okay.
And it's just kind of a family tradition. All of our kids come and that's another one of the blessings that God's give us, that time when we can all kind of just shut down and go do something together. You got to have that.
Yeah, that takes you away from the stress of running the business, of dealing with
takes me away from the
things.
stress, but not the telephone calls.
Well, unfortunately, we've got higher technology and being available just about anywhere at any time.
Yes, right.
Yeah, I know that might make it a little more challenging for you as well.
Right.
Okay. Well, if I call you at a bad time, just don't answer. You can call me back whenever you want. John and Vanessa Keith, Loggers of the Year for 2025. Thank you so much for inviting me in your home.
Thank you for
and
coming.
spending this time for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you for listening to Mind of the Forest. This episode was sponsored by First South Farm Credit. First South is your premier rural lender. With over 100 years financing timber and agriculture, they have the expertise you're looking for when financing rural property. If you're looking to purchase or refinance land, call your local First South Farm Credit office or find them online at firstsouthland.com. If you'd like to learn more about sustainable forestry, the SFI, the LFA and its programs, and how you can be part of an organization that supports landowners, loggers, and the forest products industry in Louisiana, check out our website at laforestry.com. We have 14 episodes of Mind of the Forest each year, and you can help support sustainable forestry by being a Mind of the Forest sponsor. Send me an email to jzeringue at laforestry.com. That's jzeringue at laforestry.com. We're always looking for topics that might be of interest to you, our audience. If you have a topic suggestion, send me an email to that same address, jzeringue at laforestry.com. Our contact information, as well as the contact information of our guests, can be found in the show notes. You can check that out anytime you like. Also, you can subscribe to Mind of the Forest by clicking on the subscribe button on your favorite podcast app, like Apple Podcast or Spotify, and now we're even on YouTube. So be sure when you go and subscribe, you can tap the notification button, and you will know when a new episode drops each month. Thank you very much for doing that. And remember, at the Louisiana Forestry Association, we're Mind of the Forest for you.